Hey guys, welcome to my first look video on Audi's facelifted 8Y RS3. I remember when they launched this car in pre-facelift form back in 2021, and I was blown away by how dynamically good that car was. At last, an Audi RS product, especially an RS3, that was really fun to pilot down your favorite road. It was really agile, it was rewarding, it was capable, it ticked so many boxes. Believe it or not, Audi Sport have sold 80,000 RS3s since they launched it back in 2011. In terms of UK prices, I don't have a clue at this stage because I'm filming this video at the beginning of June. But in Germany, they confirmed they'll start at 66,000 euros. You can get your RS3 in the Sportback version, which this one is, or in a saloon or sedan, which is just behind the camera. The saloon usually costs £2,000 to £3,000 more. But I've chosen to film this Kailami Green Sportback because I love hatchbacks. As many of you will know, if you've followed me for enough time, well, my YouTube channel kind of started around the M135i hatch. And in fact, that M135i back in 2013, its biggest competitor was the original RS3. But back then, the M135i was arguably better than the original RS3, whereas fast forward to today, and I'll definitely have one of these over BMW's current M135i. So what's new with this facelifted RS3? Well, let's naturally start with the colours. We've already talked about this car being Kailami Green. The sedan over there is Kimura Grey. You can also get the wonderful Ascari Blue. You can get Progressive Red, and you can get matte Daytona Grey, which is the same colour that I had on that S3 press car that I tested towards the start of the year. In line with the rest of the A3 and S3 lineup, the front end on this has been completely restyled. So we essentially have a new bumper, a new grille. We have the new design Audi rings, which I'm not the biggest fan of, although they don't look too bad on the RS3. And I think that's because there's so much going on around them. These headlamp units are all new, they're matrix LEDs. And you have 4 different options for your daytime running lights. At the moment, we've got an RS specific checkered flag. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. It's pretty cool. You might as well utilize all of the technology that's going on in these complex and very expensive, I'm sure, headlamp units. This particular car has a carbon pack, so you can see we have carbon gills here, carbon sills, and we have a carbon diffuser. The wing mirrors are carbon as well, but they're actually separate, so you can have them in black, carbon, or body color. We've got new design 19-inch wheels. I say new, I've seen these on the RS3 Performance, which we didn't get in the UK. I think that was launched about 2 years ago. I absolutely love them, and there's a couple of different color options. There's these ones and the ones on the sedan over there, which actually look like a totally different wheel, but it's just down to the finish on the actual wheel itself. There's a couple of tire options. This has got the P0Rs, which I know nothing about. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a P0R. We have some small detailing on the B pillar here, so Audi RS3 Sportback, which is now becoming a common and popular thing on new Audi models. I really like that. It's subtle, unlike, say, M badges everywhere. When we get around the back of the car, well, we have a few subtle changes, like the new badging and these new rear tail lights. But when we look down there at the diffuser, well, that's not very subtle at all. It looks like it's been lifted straight off a race car, and I absolutely love it. It also has the 2 trademark oval exhausts. The pre-facelift was a great looking car, but I really think that Audi Sport have improved on that. Subtle changes, maybe aside from the diffuser, and it just looks better overall, from the back, from the front, from the side. Fantastic job. Under the bonnet of every single RS3 since 2011 when it launched is a 2.5 litre 5-cylinder turbocharged engine. Obviously Audi have updated and changed that unit over the years to produce more power, more torque, to be more efficient, etc., to what it is today. Unfortunately though, nothing's been changed compared to the pre-facelift car. So we still have 400 horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque. Audi claim it will do the 0 to 62 sprint in 3.8 seconds, and I'm in no doubt that it will, if a little bit faster. And if you tick the right options, it will also go into a top speed of 180 miles an hour. In terms of the chassis and the suspension, from my understanding, they haven't played around with any of that hardware, but they have tweaked a lot of the ECU and the electronics to make it all work better. So the trick torque splitter rear diff is obviously still in here. It's in the new S3 as well. But they played around with the settings of that. I'm sure they've learnt over the past few years of how to make it more effective. According to Audi Sport, it now has a better turn-in, better mid-corner and a better corner exit. So I'm looking forward to hopefully experiencing that soon. So although in a straight line this is no quicker than the car it replaces, I'm sure around a lap or down your favourite road it is going to be a little bit more capable. Let's jump inside and check out the interior. It's just gone 9 p.m. and we are rapidly running out of light, so hopefully you can still see me in this rather dark and black German interior. In line with the rest of the A3 and S3 range, the interior has been updated with nicer materials and a few different details. So we have Alcantara here on the dashboard, or I guess Audi call it Dynamica. And then you look into the door cards and that's the same here. We have some LED lighting as well, which is similar to what you'd find in the lesser models, but it's slightly different in this RS, guys. We have 30 different ambient lighting colors, which I'm sure will please a lot of people. And at the moment, I've actually got it set to what looks like Kailami green. So that's pretty cool, I guess. We have a brand new double flattened wheel, which is standard in the facelifted RS3. Looks good, it feels good. We've got new RS and a performance button, but, and this is a big but, it has haptic buttons that appear to make their way right out to the edge of the wheel. And at least on first glance, I think that bigger hands like mine are going to foul them. These remind me very much of the Mark 8 Golf buttons and that wheel that caused everyone a lot of grief, to the point that Volkswagen have now gone back to the older wheel, essentially out of the Mark 7 Golf. And I really hope that Audi aren't going to discover the same with this. We have new paddles which look metallic but feel plastic. I'm not sure. Don't want to twist that too much because I might break it. And looking at me straight ahead, well, we have a new design for the virtual cockpit, or a new rev counter and speedo design. I say new, it is essentially what Audi RS used to have in their older RS cars, and I absolutely love it. Big rev counter on the outside, speed in the center. It makes the most sense. It looks great. It's really easy to use, and I'm glad that they've added that to a number of different layouts and features that you can have in the latest virtual cockpit. Down here, well, that little tab has been replaced with a little block, so is it better, is it worse? I don't know. We have lots of buttons where there need to be buttons, things like your seat heating, your climate control, etc., and that's great to see. I wasn't expecting that to change too dramatically. We have a new material around the vents. I can't remember what they call it, but it looks like titanium, and that continues down onto the door. All looks very, very good. But the best and biggest upgrade, which are definitely going to be optional extras, are these carbon bucket seats. They are fantastic. They are brilliant. I've experienced them a couple of times with cars like the RS4 competition, although UK spec RS4 competitions didn't come with those seats. And in fact, the RS3 Performance had these seats. They are so comfortable, they are so supportive, and they sit a little bit lower compared to the regular RS seat. So the driving position is a little bit better. So all in all, I'm very impressed with the changes they've made on the interior and on the exterior. The only thing I'm not sure about is this new wheel and those buttons, but I'm going to hold my judgment on that until I've actually driven the car to see if they do get in the way. And the last thing to talk about and show you guys is a new cold start feature that Audi Sport have introduced into this latest RS3. what is the point in having that wonderful 5-pot engine if you can't hear it? And over the past 5 or 6 years, thanks to regulations, well, that has been getting quieter and quieter. But thankfully, Audi Sport have done something quite magic, and at least when it's cold for the first 10 or 15 seconds, it sounds very, very impressive. As I'm sure you agree, that sounds absolutely mega, and it definitely celebrates the fact that there is still a 5-cylinder hiding underneath that Kailami green bonnet. I almost said orange because BMW use Kailami orange for their interior colours. Anyway, I'm really tired. There is no light left in the sky, and I'm very hungry, so I'm going to go now. I hope you enjoyed the first look video on this wonderful RS3. I can't wait to drive one on the road very soon, so stay tuned for that. Take it easy, give us a like if you enjoyed it. Cheers, bye.